How would you evaluate the performance of the BDS movement thus far? It's in its 13th year. And how do you feel the future looks for the movement and where the real promise for it lies?
The rise of the BDS movement has been absolutely spectacular. It was started in 2005, as you know. Today, wrote a letter inviting people, concerned human beings in the rest of the world, to join a non-violent struggle involving boycott, divestment and sanctions to bring pressure on both the Israeli government and upon the Israeli government's main benefactor, the person who pays mainly for their army, which is the United States of America, to bring pressure on these two governments to adhere to the rule of international law and to the basic tenets of human rights jurisprudence. Now that the two-state solution has been destroyed by the duplicity of successive Israeli governments, it's quite clear from what has happened that they never had any intention of making peace with the indigenous population. What's going to happen is we are going to continue to ask this question: do we, the people of the world, believe in the idea that human beings have rights and that those rights necessarily need to be protected by a rule of law that is accepted all over the world by global civil society? My feeling about that is, yes, I do believe that individual human beings should have rights. They have a right to food and shelter and basic rights. People should have recourse to the law. Nobody should be able to arrest you in your bed at night and incarcerate you without you being able to make an appeal to due process. You cannot lock somebody up and say, we're sorry. Well, the Israelis do that routinely. Thousands and thousands of Palestinians are locked away with no recourse to any law. They call it administrative detention. The way this is going to go is that more and more of us are going to say, you have to come out of the woodwork. In a way, I'm happy that the Israelis, or many members of the Israeli Knesset, are now coming out of the woodwork. They're now coming out of the woodwork and saying, we don't give a shit about law. We're not interested in it. They're beginning to go biblical now and say, this is our country. God gave it to us. Go and read the Bible. Well, that is not good enough. And it is no way for we, the human race, to organize relations between us and others on this planet. I will always come back to that innocent child shot in the head walking to school. And my rage will rise up in my gorge and I will suppress it and go, I must keep on with the work that I do, small as it is, insignificant as it may be. The people that I have admired all my life have been the people that I have seen, sometimes against all odds, standing up for the weak, standing up for the powerless, standing up for the idea that we may not be rich and powerful and armed to the teeth. We're brothers and sisters. We differ from one another as brothers and sisters do. We can look at our actual brothers and sisters and cousins and uncles and aunts and things and see the differences and understand that we're not all the same. And we're not all perfect. In fact, none of us is perfect. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. We need one another's help. We have allowed greed to take over all our lives, and we are allowing the culture of greed to destroy the planet that we should be protecting.
Yes, and unfortunately, to a large degree, what's happening to the Palestinian people is a microcosm of the destruction of the planet writ large, with the hope that that message will be heard. And I really want to thank you, Roger, for joining us today, and it was a pleasure speaking to you as always.
All right, Dimitri. Thanks, my friend.